Oh, hello everybody. It's the waitingfornextyear.com podcast. I'm your host, Craig Lindell, and man, is it a dead time in sports. First of all, I hope you really enjoyed my straight up sports chat podcast with Andrew from Waiting for Next Year. I really am going to try to get back on my sports podcasting ways, but I'm still going to do some solo podcasts. I enjoy doing them. And especially right now, it's kind of a dead time in the sports calendar. So, I don't know. What am I gonna ask? What do you think? What do you think of the Indians not doing anything in the off season? I know that's an oversimplification. I don't mean to be glib or be Dolan's are cheap as, but I mean that's kind of where we are in Cleveland sports right now. The Cavaliers have never been less meaningful. I think everybody on that team is tradable other than Colin Sexton and maybe Cedi Osman. So we don't even get to talk about transactional NBA kind of stuff, which sometimes can be interesting and fun. If you want to talk about NBA trade machine scenarios with Tristan Thompson, be my guest. It's just I don't really care that much. The best thing the Cavs can do is probably take on salary for draft capital. And as much fun as it was to go through the Baron Davis era, and as much fun as it is that yielded Kyrie Irving, the Baron Davis era in and of itself was not worthy of discussion. So you're talking about everything around what actually happened as opposed to what actually happened, which is kind of a weird way to approach sports talk. So I'm going to tell you a story about skiing because I know nothing about skiing. I never skied in my entire life, but my son wanted to give it a shot this year. He wanted to try. There's like a ski club through his elementary school, so we signed on that dotted line. We ponied up our $200 for the season, and it's like 6 weeks of Sunday mornings. You show up and they do like a 90-minute clinic, and then they get some free time to ski and practice their craft thereafter. So last Sunday was my oldest Ben's first time ever on skis. And so you forget how daunting it is to do anything new. But like I'd never walked into the ski slope building before. I didn't know where anything was. I've never rented equipment, so I didn't know what size boots the kid was going to wear. I knew absolutely nothing. Like even the logistics, like think of Seinfeld and the soup Nazi and the soup line and having to know, well, first you take 2 steps to the left and then you order and then you no chit chat, 2 steps to, like all those little things, they're not big deals, but when you have never done any of it before, this is what causes that barrier to entry for anything new, is like you don't quite know exactly the right phrases and where to go, and you really don't look forward to those awkward glances you get from the people behind the counter who have done this stuff thousands and thousands of times before, and they can't possibly understand somebody who is standing in front of them for the very first time. And so I was that guy who was standing in front of them for the very first time. So we get signed in, and I've gotten better about facing up to this minor bit of social anxiety, but I hate it. The place is packed, and we get, and my son, who to thunk, with genetics and all, he's got a lot of that same kind of new experience anxiety as well. So I've got to act calm or calmer than I feel so that I can help keep him from psyching himself out. And so we get out there, we get the boots, we try on 3 different sizes of boots before we get the right ones. I have to figure out, I don't even know how to latch ski boots. There's like 3 buckles that have varying degrees of tightness, and I think I almost broke a bone in my kid's foot with the first level of tightness that I did. So we find the right level and everything, and we go over to the ski rental counter, And we get the skis and, we get outside, and finally I feel some relief because this guy who's running the clinic is like, yeah, I'll teach him everything. I'll teach him how to put the skis on, everything else. I know, first timers, I get it, and my son is 8, so he needs that first time instruction. Everything's good. And so they're doing not the bunny hill, the baby hill. And they're going up and down. He's teaching them how to walk sideways and all the true basic things that I'm only telling you about them today because I learned them for the first time last week watching my son go through it as a first time ever on a ski hill kid. And so the clinic goes well. 90 minutes, he's with 6 or 7 other kids. Some of the kids have skied before. And the last step is going up the first ski lift to the bunny hill, which is bigger than the baby hill. But rides the ski lift, makes it down twice, although not completely all the way down on the first try, kind of down, halfway down falls, get up, make it the rest of the way down. He does that twice, and now the 90-minute clinic is up, and the ski instructor leaves, and the kids are now free to go about their way, practicing and trying to hone their craft and all the skills they learned in their first 90 minutes. In my son's case, his first ever instruction. And so he goes up that hill that first time without the ski instructor anywhere nearby. And he gets halfway down the hill, and instead of falling and having to make his way the rest of the way down, he makes a left turn. He goes off the track into the powder, and he is stuck. And so now I'm standing there watching this kid, this poor kid. At first he's calm. He's like analyzing the situation. He's trying to figure out, okay, I'm going to try and walk. Nope, the ground's too uneven and there's like a lip before you get back onto the actual slope. And so he can't walk his way up there with the skis. So, okay, now he takes the skis off and he puts the skis down on the track itself, and the skis start skating down the hill without him. And he catches them and tries to reset, tries to get in, and he can't do it. And so now he's back in the powder. He walks his way to the top of the hill. He resets the skis so that he can take his trip all the way down the hill. He starts down the hill. He does the same thing. He makes that left turn and he gets into the powder. And now I can see, even from a distance, that kid's about to lose his mind. The frustration has boiled over. The flames are about to explode on the stovetop as the water boils over the edge of the pot. And so finally, he's trying everything he can. He's up there for 10 minutes, going on 15 minutes. It feels like 3 hours. And so I walk to the bottom of the hill because I'm thinking, well, if somebody could just go tell him what to do or tell him to walk down the hill, I'm doing anything I can to save this kid, but I'm wearing shoes. I've never skied before. I didn't rent skis. I was just going to watch this first time so I could kind of get the lay of the land before I try and learn how to ski myself. And even it would have been my first day ever on skis too. So I'm not so sure that I would have been able to figure out an effective way to help him without, kind of making myself look like a jackass. But so I get to the bottom of the hill and I'm standing there at the bottom of the hill, and this woman in a blue coat, which is and when I say woman, it's like a young adult girl, probably early 20s, and she's got the ski jacket, a bit of a California lilt, and the ski bum California lilt in her voice, and she's holding this scanner, and she comes up to me, and I'm looking up the hill, and she has no ability to sense that I've got any kind of an issue whatsoever, and it's not a big issue, but it's a small issue. And she's like, so yeah, I'm gonna need you to stand behind the fence, and you can't stand here. I'm gonna need you to go stand behind that fence. I'm like, okay. I don't get angry. I don't lose my mind. I'm like, okay, here's my deal. I'm happy to stand behind the fence, but I got a very first time skier up there. He's been stuck for 10 or 15 minutes. Nobody's helping him. And I don't think he knows how to figure out how to get out of this situation. And he's been stuck up there for a little bit. And she goes, yeah, I hear you. But I'm going to need you to stand behind the fence. That was it. That was it. And so now, again, I don't lose my shit, but I'm now gritting my teeth. I'm saying, yeah, okay, okay, fine. I'll stand behind the fence. And I realized this woman was going to be no help to me whatsoever. And so I go behind the fence like a good little boy without screaming at anybody. And again, what kind of a psychopath would I have looked like? It's not like my kid was hurt or in danger. It was just awkward and he was kind of embarrassed. So nobody actually ends up helping us. But Ben finally figures out, all right, I'll just take the skis off and I will walk myself down the hill. And so now I'm just thinking, all right, well, is this the moment where he says I'm never going to ski again? Or is this the moment? I just don't know what's happening. So he's walking down the hill. And I go into an illegal position at the bottom of the hill, getting a stern talking to from the woman in blue once again. But I go down to the bottom of the hill to wait for Ben to come down. He's walking with his two skis. His hands are bright red, freezing, because he's put his gloves in his pocket so that he could manipulate the skis and figure this stuff out. And he's walking down the hill. He had his helmet on backwards now. He's crying, but like that crying where he's trying to stifle it, he's trying to hold it back. And I felt so sorry for him, but I'm going, no, man, it was good. This was your first time on the skis. You did a great job. Everybody has issues their first time through the ringer, on skis. And he's going, Dad, I got stuck. And my friends went by me 3 different times, and they were always saying, "What are you doing, Ben? What are you doing over there?" And so he was just like traumatized. I was like, "You ready? You want to go, bud? You ready to go home?" And he was like, "Yes." And but credit to him, he has not given up on skiing forever. He wants to go back again this week. But it's just like one of those helpless dad moments. You have babies, right? And you're figuring this whole thing out. And then all along the way, you have these different experiences and things that your kids want to try. And then they want to try things that you have no experience in whatsoever. I got a little taste of this when Ben wanted to play lacrosse. And I'm going, lacrosse? I have no idea what lacrosse is. I get soccer. I know football, basketball. I know a little bit about baseball, even though I never really played it. But like lacrosse and now skiing, like who is this kid? And who? He should have been matched up with a different father who understands these different things. But somebody, you always want to be that dad who teaches your kid how to catch a grounder or shoot a soccer ball or pass or do the Maradona, like in my case, because I'm kind of a soccer guy. And then they end up trying to do a bunch of things that you actually have to learn yourself. Like it's great. It's wonderful. But it would be so much easier if you just wanted to do things that I have like experience. I don't even have to be good at them. But if I have like a proficiency and an experience, really help me out. But man, kids just aren't wired that way. So anyway, hope your days are going well. Hope you're all prepared. If you live up here, if you actually live in the Cleveland area, I hope you're prepared for the snowpocalypse on Saturday. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you guys have a great weekend. It's been the waitingfornextyear.com podcast.